that was it. That was the time I fell on the side of the highway. Moral of the story though, do not tolerate anybody taking you there. Don't give people that power over you, okay? What it do, babies? My name is Azayaé, better known as Millionaire Nani on Instagram, and today we are just going to be doing a story time about the time that I was fighting on the highway. It's a mess. If you check on my channel from like 3 years ago, I actually posted this story time before. So I am a lot more comfortable and I know how to articulate myself a little bit better than what I did a couple years ago. So I thought I would re-record it. It'd make for a funny story. And I actually was just talking with an old friend about this whole party or whatever, and they was like, "You remember that?" And I was like, "How could I forget?" I posted a poll on my Instagram. This is what the poll results look like. So if you aren't following me on Instagram, go ahead and make sure you're doing that. I love to connect with my subscribers there so you guys can tell me the content you want to see. Just get right into the video. Let's get the characters straight now. Not going to name any names because I'm not that type of person, especially because I got so many stories. People may or may not be in future stories, so we aren't gonna even, I went to North Carolina with this girl who at the time was my bestie, and we are gonna call bestie Fiona. We're gonna call bestie Fiona, okay? And the girl who I'm gonna insert the clip of her talking on the phone with Fiona, we're gonna call her Ashley, okay? If you happen to watch my old video, you can go ahead and do that here. I may not tell the story exactly the same, but in my old video, Fiona, I was calling her bestie, but I was calling Ashley Ashley. So those people will line up. That's really all you need to know in the backstory so you can understand how we even got to this point. I've been an entrepreneur working for myself pretty much since I graduated high school. I'm only just now realizing everybody doesn't have the courage to follow their own path. So that alone has always brought me a lot of problems in my life, okay? So at the time, I was selling hair extensions and I had bought myself, paid in cash, a Nissan Altima. It was red, tinted windows, fully loaded. That was my baby, okay? That car was my baby. I was 19 at the time. I had a best friend, Fiona. Fiona was 23. Now, that should have been a red flag alone. Why is this 23-year-old hanging out with me and I'm 19 years old? Like, where are your friends? But I've always thought I was a lot more mature for my age. So, I was like, yeah, sis, I'm grown. She grown. We grown together. Fiona was 23 and my friend Ashley, she was having a nasty 19 lingerie party, okay? I used to live in North Carolina back years ago in like high school. So I was like, okay, this is great. We're gonna drive down for Ashley's nasty 19. It'll be a nice little road trip. I'll get to see my girls and I'm gonna bring my current best friend. We're gonna bring Fiona down there to meet her. It's gonna be a good, night, weekend. It shouldn't be no issues. I wouldn't even understand why it would be any issues. Whatever. So, I remember leading up to our trip, like before we even had to leave, I was trying to do a lot of stuff. Despite the fact that I had just bought it and it was a new car and it was very reliable, I didn't want to take my older car to North Carolina driving. So yeah, so Fiona had just got a brand new car. She was driving for Lyft at the time, and y'all remember like when this first came out, when Uber and Lyft and all them was like letting people get cars, like they were like renting people cars in exchange to drive Lyft, whatever. She did that. So she had offered to drive. She had offered her car. She was like, yeah, we can take my car. So I'm like, great. Now I don't have to worry about my car. We're like running around and I'm trying to remember the details, but the backstory before we actually was on the way to North Carolina, it wasn't too important. It was just a little petty stuff. Like, I remember I wanted to take the plane, but then she told me she didn't have any money to buy a plane, or she didn't want to buy a plane ticket. So I was thinking like, all right, well, whatever. If a girl I am, I always find a way. Like, so somebody be like, oh, I don't got plane ticket money, but I still want to go. I'm gonna just be like, all right, I'm working around that person. Now that I'm thinking back on the story though, this might have been her way of trying to like get out of the trip without, I don't know. But my whole thing is, you're a grown woman and I'm a very straightforward person. So like, unless you speak on it, I'm going to pretend like I don't even know what's going on. Like, you say you don't got the money to fly, but you still want to come, so okay, I'm gonna figure out how we can drive. Fast forward, I end up taking my car to the mechanic so I can get my car tuned up and everything, because I'm like, all right, if I'm gonna drive my car all the way down 8 hours away, at least let me get a tune up and make sure everything's good. To pick my car up, it ended up being like $400 out of my pocket. Long story short, after all the petty stuff. If you want to hear the in-depth backstory, go ahead and click the video. It will be in the description box. And yeah, I told all the detail because it was fresh when it happened. I can't think of every little detail off the top of my head. You get me? You feel me? Okay, moving on. So I ended up getting my car together, and it was time for us to go. The day that we left to go to North Carolina, it was a normal day. Funny thing about it was, though, we had discussed on going half on some Mary Jane, and she was gonna give me half of the money for gas, because like, I'm a grown woman, you're a grown woman. If you don't have the means to come, you shouldn't have faked. Whatever. I don't know what her pocket situation was like, but I feel like a simple conversation would. But again, I was young and dumb back then, and I'm telling the story now so that way all my young girls who are not as dumb as me can make sure they don't make the same mistakes as me. Okay? Okay. So we're driving, and the whole 8 hours she gives me like $20 in gas. Now, $20 in gas, and we stopped a couple times. Like, that don't add up to anything. I planned on getting a room for the first night that we had got there, so she agreed to give me half of the room. She never gave me the money for the half of the room. My aunt even bought us lunch. Like, I was like, sis, you already rubbing me the wrong way. But back then, I was so non-confrontational because I was insecure about what I was feeling. I always used to feel like it's probably me who's the problem, and that stemmed from other stuff. I used to always just be like, yo, shut up, because you don't want to lose this friend, you know? I used to really, really, really care about losing my friends back then. Fast forward, we get the hotel room. We had a great time at the hotel. I was introducing to her my peoples. The dude ended up buying us like dinner or something. From the moment we got to North Carolina, it was a lot going on. My car had got a flat tire on the way there, so that has set us back on our schedule like 2 hours. We were on the side of the highway dancing and whatever. And then we had to do a lot of running around. I remember we went to go get our nails done because I had broke my nail. We go to the nail salon, and like, I paid for my nails. We're walking out, and the lady's like chasing us because she didn't pay. So like, now that I'm grown and I'm like reflecting back on the story, she was trying to just fake the funk and try to keep up with me. Because like I said, I'm an entrepreneur. I always have cash flows. So her at 23 was probably looking at me, who was only 19, like, sis, I can't tell y'all what she was thinking. But what it seemed like, now that I'm looking back on the story, she probably didn't have the money that she was pretending like she had. It was all very weird. She wasn't really trying to cooperate, right? So fast forward, we finally get to Charlotte for the party. So the night that we were partying, now keep in mind, I said it was Ashley's nasty 19. It was all in lingerie, and we're getting drunk. Night progressed on. I'm on Facebook Live. I'm recording the night. Then my live views, I used to get like thousands of people on my live. So I'm on live, and people are like, yo, your friend is tripping. Like, they keep commenting. But me, being the person that I am, these are the two things I was thinking. First of all, I was like, yo, I'm probably drunk, and they're probably tripping. Or I was just like, no, they don't know. They don't really understand the situation. You know what I mean? Always trying to give people the benefit of the doubt. So everybody's commenting on my live like, yo, watch out for her. She's acting crazy, whatever. And I'm brushing it off. I remember we're all drinking. One guy, he's like trying to talk to me, and I'm entertaining him a little bit because, like, whatever. All the girls had went to the back room for whatever reason. She pulled me aside. She's like,
they got money. All you gotta do is go in the room, and they gonna give you $500, and
I was like, no, I'm not the type of girl. Brushed it off, kept it pushing. The night ends, and the guys are leaving, so we're all standing outside, and here Fiona go again tripping. She like,
yeah, they're trying to shoot us, and da-da-da.
And I'm like, nobody's trying to shoot us. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I don't know what you're talking about. So she kept going off the wall. Now, keep in mind, this is the first time I was ever drinking with this girl. And I know that wine and spirits can get into people's spirits and make them whine. Alcohol can really change people for the worse. And again, that ain't my business, but this is the first time I had got drunk. So I was seeing a whole different side of this girl that I had never, ever seen. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. It was like 10 million red flags all at once. It was overwhelming me so bad. The girls ended up going out to eat. It was like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning by the time everything settled down. Everybody went to Waffle House and I was like, yo, I'm gonna go to sleep. So I go in the back room and I'm like, okay, cool, I'm gonna relax. And Fiona was out in like the living room area where the party was going on. She was hanging out with Ashley's uncles and stuff. And she out there acting like she's acting totally different. And I'm hearing her. I hear her like,
yeah, I wasn't gonna drive my car because I wasn't about to put all my miles on it.
And I forgot to mention this, but Fiona had tried to tell me that her mom told her she wasn't allowed to take the car because the car was in her mom's name. She gave me this elaborate story. So I'm overhearing this and I'm like, so I had just simply texted her like, hey sis, you know I'm not asleep. I don't think she's seen my message. So she's still blabbing on and on and on. So I'm just listening like, huh? And she like,
yeah, I got stuff to do on Monday and I gotta make sure I'm gonna be home and whatever.
It's pretty much like Sunday morning. I'm hearing her talking all this sugar honey ice station.
Gotta be somewhere.
I listened to the whole conversation. She done hyped herself up so much that she felt bold enough to come in the room. She busted in the room and she like,
yeah, Zay, we gotta leave because
I was like, I'm not going anywhere. Like, we need to sleep. Like, we're not about to drive 8 hours and neither one of us has slept. Yeah, that's not smart. That's not safe. I'm not doing it. I had brought an air mattress and all these different comforters because the whole plan was we were going to stay the night. You knew about these plans at least a month in advance. So if you had something to do on Monday, you shouldn't have came. Like, because I'm on my own time. You're on my time. So she's snapping, da-da-da. And me being the anxious person, and when I was younger, there's no talking nothing out. Like, sis, who are you talking to? Oh, we gotta fight. So she's talking and I was like, yo, I'm not gonna fight her because we still gotta get back to Philly. Like, I was trying to just successfully get back home because I already knew. After how the weekend went, I already knew sis was getting cut off. I was done. She was done. A little bit more of us arguing. It goes on and on and on and on and on. And I'm finally just like, whatever, come on. You're driving now. Like, so after we stopped, she stops at the gas station. She's like, yeah, we need gas. And she's just like waiting for me to pay. All of this is rubbing me the wrong way. I'm tired. I'm irritated. So I'm just like, I'm not even talking to her. I'm just like in the car, like rolling up. Because I was about to smoke at that point. Because she was 2 seconds away from right on the spot. But like, you know what? Whatever. It's not even light outside yet. We finally get on the highway. We're going. And like I said, I had just smoked, getting off, and trying to just get some sleep because I already knew I was going to have to drive in a couple hours. We're passing a hotel, and she's like, Zay, let's get a room. And I'm like, no. At this point, no. Like, heck no. We are not getting a room, especially because you just made me leave my friends, and I didn't even get to say bye to my friends. Yeah, bye. That's dead. So we're driving. She said it, and I was like half asleep, so I didn't even pay no attention. But then I just remember her hands was in my pants.
Like, yes, this bitch fucking molested me, y'all.
Let me get your cat.
I was like, no, like, don't touch me. Like, so now I'm literally furious. Like, not only did you ruin my weekend, you just violated me. Like, on top of already trying to get me to, like, prostitute or something. Like, you know what I mean? In my brain, all I'm thinking of is, Azayaé, get home. Just get home. Like, because I got a pass of beating just down. I didn't want to have to.
I didn't want to have to do it. I did not want to do it. I didn't. Trust me, I didn't.
A couple more hours goes by. I was asleep in my car, you know, and I just was woken up just like that. Like that.
It's not funny, but watching this story back, like, this is really my life. Like, I can't make this shit up.
So I remember when I woke up, I'm like, what the heck happened? And she's like, nothing, we're fine. And as I'm waking up, the guy was like, are you guys okay? And she was like, yeah. And he was pulling off, like she was finishing up talking to him or something. So I was like, whatever. I'm like, what happened? And I don't remember what she told me, but she told me whatever she told me. And I was like, okay, we're driving. And you hear you can hear the car. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but you could tell there was something on the wheels. So we just had the car. And she's like, oh, nothing. It's just a little dent. So I'm like, okay, whatever. Still trying to brush it off because, like I said, in my brain, sis, your time has expired. You are walking on thin ice. We drive a little bit, and then We stop again and she gets out. And she's like, oh, nothing, it's just a little dent. And when she said that, that's the time that I got out. So when I got out of the car and let me go to the video. And so I get out the car and I see the front of my car and it looks like this. So then I see the back of my car and it looks like this. Do y'all know how fucking pissed off I was? Like, literally pissed off was an understatement. So I call my mom. I'm like, yo, I was seeing black at that point. There ain't no talking. It wasn't as bad as I blew it up, but it was definitely bad because you definitely my car up. So I'm calling my mom. I'm telling her my mom's kind of just trying to tell me to get home, but I'm like, Mom, we can't drive 8 hours with the car looking like this. You can hear the wheel hitting something. Like, if we would have drove home, I would have fucked around and my bumper would have been falling off by the time I got home. So we called my Aunt Keisha. So I'm just sitting there like, thinking of everything I could have done different. I'm sitting in a car, like, and I think she was in a car, I was outside of the car, or one of the two, but we weren't sitting next to each other by this point. And I'm just thinking of all this I could have did differently, because I'm like, yo, this girl, she got me tore up. Like, I started working full-time at 18. I have fully supported myself. I think that when people see that for themselves, that I really don't, like, I'm not getting money from my parents, I'm not doing some secretive business. Like, yo, I think she was like low-key hating or something. Right when my aunt was about to pull up, she got real bold, and here she go out the car. She get out the car on the phone or something.
Yeah, she's overreacting and
I was just thinking she's crazy. So my aunt finally gets there, and I'm just talking, going off and off and off and off and off, and how she touched me, and how she's on the phone, she's talking all this crap, and I think she said something. She was gaslighting. I was telling my aunt what happened. Like, yeah, she was touching on me, and then she crashed my car. And she's
like, no, that's not how it happened.
Yo. I don't remember what the last thing she said, but all I remember was jumping over my aunt. I told her, like, yo, I'm about to beat you. I'm about to beat your motherfucking ass. Beating her up. I done broke some nails. I didn't, I didn't kind of drug her a little bit. We fighting. She done pulled my hair. She done ripped my shirt. On the side of the highway, y'all. Keisha couldn't calm me down. She's like breaking it up, and Keisha's very strong, but like, I'm still like,
you know what I mean? So
Keisha's like, Zay, chill out. You still, whatever, because I got in trouble in North Carolina before. She's like, no, Zay, it's not worth it. I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, the tow truck finally pulls up. The cop is standing with the tow truck. Both of us is all looking like I just got in a fight. But my shirt is all ripped. I'm all shooken up. You could clearly tell that she just got beat, like her ass beat. And the cop is like, is everything okay? And I'm like, yeah, everything's cool. Like, my aunt's like, yeah, everything's fine, officer. We're all sitting there, and I'm just like, oh, bitch, I'm about to beat your ass again. Wait till the cop leave. I'm about to beat it again. He finally towed my car, and I'm like sitting there looking at my car like, yo, this is probably the last time I'm gonna see you, baby. Like, I was pissed off, but I knew in the back of my head that it wasn't about to happen how I wanted it to happen. So I'm telling Keisha, like, yeah, she's not getting in the car. Like, she's gonna have to stay here. All the while, she's like still talking. Like,
you were overreacting, and I could have paid for it. And
I'm hearing all this, but it's like, sis, how could you pay for my car and you couldn't even buy your own food?
Sis, how could you pay for my car and you couldn't even pay for your nails to get done? Sis, how could you pay for my car and you didn't even have gas money? It's not making sense. It's not adding up to me.
We get in a car, and I'm like sitting in the front seat. Keisha's like, yeah, we can't leave her there. Before we got in the car, taking out all her purse, because I'm like, I ain't gonna see no money from you. Like, you ain't got no money to get truck. Then ran her stuff over. I was so mad. I wanted to kill her. Like, whew. I'm getting goosebumps telling the story. I'm such a changed person. People don't even understand. My aunt finally drives me to my other aunt's house. North Carolina at the time. My aunt was like, yeah, I'm gonna take her to the bus station. And I was screaming direction.
Better not buy her no bus ticket. She can find her own way home.
That's what my aunt did. She drove her to the bus station. Now, before they were about to leave, I had realized I couldn't find my wallet. I was like, oh, this got my wallet. And she knows that I be having money. Like, ran outside. I'm like, yo, check her purse right now. So I opened the door because I was really about to drag her again, like the car, and she's like, she's not allowing me to get her out the car. Both my aunts is trying to pull me off, and I was so angry. I don't know where this strength came from, but I'm like
getting them off of me, like, get off of me, and I'm like trying to get her.
So you know how like the back seat of a car, I open this door, she ends up getting out the other side. So she left her purse, get her purse, and she didn't have my wallet, but I seen she had stole all of my makeup. Now, like I said, my makeup is my livelihood. That's my work. That was my hustle at the time. all I seen was black again. So because I think I emptied her bag out, and I'm like ripping her purse apart and whatever, and my aunt's like, Zay, it's not worth it. And I'm like, I don't care. It is worth it because she had so much time to not do this. Later that day, Ashley had told me, she was like, yeah, Fiona hit me up and said y'all got in a car accident or something and whatever. And I'm like, yo, what did she say? And she was like, she said she's gonna call me, so I'm gonna record it when she calls me.
And I want you guys to keep in mind that this phone call happened after, like, me and her fought and everything else.
You know.
Me and Zay argued. Like, we're not talking, so she's probably gonna talk a lot of shit. I'm just not built like that, so I wasn't about to say some shit about it on the phone.
Are you still in North Carolina?
Yes, I am.
And then, like,
So my brother had to go get my car to drive down there to pick me up.
because her car's, like, really messed up, right?
It's not really messed up. She blew everything out of proportion. That could have been fixed. We could have been on our way home.
So,
I had the money to fix it and everything. She just.
how did the car, did you hit somebody, or did you run into something?
No, I was driving and I was like, I guess I blunked too hard.
Listen to it again. She said, I guess I blunked too hard.
And I was like, I guess I blunked too hard. And the car, like, fun. I don't know. It's just fun. I hit the railing guard.
You hit the railing side? Were you, like, did you fall asleep, or, like, were you tired, a little drunk?
I'm gonna say I was tired.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't have mind you guys spending the night. You guys could have spent the night.
I'm gonna straight up tell y'all. When I asked Fiona how my car got crashed and stuff like that, she had no words for me. She didn't know how it happened. But to Ashley, she was trying to make it seem like she was innocent. But all I know is she was lying. She never got my car fixed. And I had her location, share each other's location. So she had forgot to turn it off. So she literally stayed in North Carolina at the bus station, no lie, for like a day and a half. Like, not my proudest moment, but sis, don't fuck with me. Okay? That is the end of my story time. If you were in this situation, what would you have done? Would you have done differently? Would you have not fought her? What would you have done? Let me know in the comments down below. If you did enjoy watching this video and you do want to see more story times, make sure you give my channel a big thumbs up because it does help boost my channel, and let me know that you are liking the content that I'm putting out. Subscribe so you see more of me, and then go ahead and click that bell so that way you're notified every single time I upload. And until next time. Moral of the story though, don't allow, do not tolerate anybody taking you there. Don't give people that power over you, okay? Something that I've learned since having my son, and certain things still trigger me, but I do a very good job of staying away from my triggers, and the things that I cannot avoid that trigger me, I don't allow them to take me there. So I will walk away from things. I'll hang up the phone if I need to. I'll cry if I need to, but I don't allow people to take me to those heights of feeling, which is usually anger, because yeah, I don't want to be an angry woman. And I sure as hell don't want to be no god darned angry black woman in America. So, I've been doing my job to develop myself and, you know, just do things that make me and keep me happy and feeling like it's okay. I'm worth it. You're worth it. If things make you feel some type of way, then it makes you feel some type of way. Don't let nobody convince you otherwise. If you feeling some type of way about it, sis, go ahead and feel that way. If you feeling some type of way about it, tell them to mind their business, okay? But that's that. Don't ever compromise your feelings. Last thing. Like I said, it ain't my proudest moment. It's a moment that I'm sharing with you. I think that's everything. Peace, love, and blessings. Everything is love on this channel. Y'all already know. Y'all know the vibes. So without further ado, Azayaé is signing off. Thank you so much for watching. Oh, my mom had to come pick me up. That was it. That was the time I fought on the side of the highway.